What's up, Giants fans? Brandon London here. This is your Blue Rush Cam Ward Pro Day special. Thank you guys for hopping on. We're live today. Uh, what a pro day! Thumbs up, thumbs down, emoji. You guys like the pro day? Let's talk for a little bit from the Giants' perspective before we get Turron Davenport of ESPN covers the Titans for ESPN. Want to get his thoughts on if maybe Mike Borzongi will trade down with Joe Shane, if Joe Shane and Brian Dable like Cam Ward that much to try and give what they can to get up to that number one spot. We'll talk to him about it. What we kind of get some sort of idea of what the Titans' plans are and what it is that if Joe Shane even has a chance. So obviously, just watching, you guys saw it on NFL Network. I thought they did a great job with the coverage, covering this kid. I like how he was able to kind of roll into things. He didn't just get straight out there, get fired, get thrown right away. Uh, Everything as average. And you see that question right there. How did he look during his pro day today? He looked as average. And if you watch tape on this kid and you hear the Mel Kipers, the Todd McShays, all the draft analysts, everyone says the same thing. They praise this kid because of his arm strength. And if you're the New York Football Giants, you got speed receivers. You just re-signed Darius Slayton to a nice 3-year deal. You got Malik Neighbors on his rookie contract, caught 100 plus footballs. You want to unlock a guy like Jalen Hyatt. You need a quarterback with the arm that can sling that thing. In fact, that's what Darius Slayton said when he said the part of the reason why he re-signed with the team because Joe and Brian said that they were going to go out and get a quarterback that could sling this thing. I like their plan in terms of getting a quarterback that can go out there and throw the football down the field. You talk about what the Giants offense needs, what it needs to get better at, and what it has the unused tools for, and that's explosive plays down the field. We saw little bits and pieces of it. Darius Slayton with the game he had against the Seahawks, you've seen what he's been able to do as a New York Football Giant these last 6 years, but they haven't had a quarterback that can come in here and really push the ball down the field outside the numbers and open it up for whatever running game you have going with the Tyrone Tracy Jr. And we never was able to unlock Saquon Barkley because they'd be 8 in the box, but being able to complete those balls down the field. So to get back to it, how did Cam Ward look during his pro day today? The zip. You see the ball come out of this kid's hand so fast. And Brian Baldinger was talking about it before but like during the little pre-show before he went out there and he started to throw, and he was talking about he wanted to see one how he was going to take snaps under center, but he wanted to see the timing, the anticipation throws, those 18-yard out routes, those whether it's a comeback route, a kitty, you come 14-yard kitty where you got to come down your stem, but the quarterback has to throw it to the outside shoulder or to the sideline if that corner is in the inside and driving on that football, or just those out routes, those rhythm throws to where you see a lot of teams in the NFL run this quarters coverage or they run this cover 3 coverage, and you can that side that out route, that intermediate out route, hitch, roll, speed out, all those kitties, comebacks, those are open for you. Those are catch and throw rhythm type throws. And if you got a route runner like Malik Neighbors or Wan'Dale Robinson, you want a quarterback that can anticipate that receiver coming out of his break and him throwing it and leading that receiver to catch and run to get yak yards. We saw a lot of that with Cam Ward today. He is deserving of the number one pick, but remember, it's got to be a but because there's always a but. I think he still left the door open for Shedeur Sanders to be the number one pick. You can watch Shedor's tape as well. Shedeur makes every throw or can make every throw that Cam Ward can make. He can be just as shifty and elusive in the pocket as Cam Ward can be. But the thing with Shedeur's tape, he does this without an offensive line. There's time you're watching Cam Ward, and he's just sitting there patting the ball like it's 7-on-7. So if there's any type of difference or any, I don't want to necessarily call it knock, but the thing that I have, my deal breaker on why I have Shedeur being number one is because he's been able to make big plays and throws down the field without an offensive line. But to get back to Cam Ward, I think the Titans like this guy. I think the Titans, and we'll talk to Turron Davenport when he comes on in a little bit. But I think the Titans really like this guy. You saw Chad Brinker, who was the president of football operations, Mike Borgonzi, the GM, Brian Callahan. It was a throw that Cam had made where he had rolled out to where they were on the sideline because the Giants brass was there, Titans brass was going to be there, Cleveland's brass was going to be. I mean, everybody named Mama was there. It was like Waffle House after the club. Everybody was there. But he rolls out and he sees them and he's kind of jawing with them. Couldn't hear what he was saying. But I take it somewhere along the lines is like, yeah, I made that throw, and that's what you could be getting for the future, for the foreseeable future and even longer. I could be your franchise quarterback. You take me number one overall. So when it comes to the Giants, and here's the next question from our audience: is he going to be there at 3? I do not think Cam Ward's going to be there at 3. I think Joe Shane, Brian Dable, um, John Mara, I think he's going to have to give them the okay that if they identified this kid as, hey, this is the kid that can get this program back on track and win not only some games, but win a Super Bowl or two and put some butts up in the seat, then go up draft and get them. And I don't think Giants fans would be mad at them for doing that. I know Joe Shane said he didn't want to have a Hail Mary when it came to bringing in a quarterback, but you saw he was ready to overpay Matt Stafford to come in here. And he not only was he going to give Stafford what he wanted in terms of the money, but he was also going to give the Rams what they wanted in terms of trading for him. So I think Joe Shane looks at the free agency he upgraded and brought some depth already to where these are guys that have played. It may not have some of those not outside of the Paulson Adibos and the Javon Hollands, some of those guys you could look at as like, yeah, that's a key depth piece, but you get a vet to come in and be a depth piece as opposed to bringing a rookie in. I don't think he wants a young team. I don't think he wants a young squad like they had last year. Tariq S. Shador Sanders is still the best quarterback in this draft. We have one of the top quarterbacks last year, and yeah, Sanders will fit right in behind our bad O-line. The offense, this myth of the Giants' offensive line being bad is just it's lazy. It's a false narrative. You saw before Andrew Thomas got hurt, offensive line was actually holding up. Quarterback back there at that time, he had time to throw the football, and guys were open to make big boy throws. So I think the Giants' offensive line, whether you have a Cam Ward or Shador Sanders, they'll hold up enough. And again, these guys, they may play right away. They may not. That's why you brought Jameis Winston in to kind of help get these guys up to speed as fast as possible. But they gave Jameis some sweet incentives to where it's like if these guys aren't ready to go week 1, week 4, week 6, and we're still in it, Jameis, sling that thing. Tariq S. Oh, I just read that Shador is the best quarterback in this draft. We're going to see, man. April 4th, just like today was appointment TV for for us football fans and those in the media that talk football. Um, April 4th, which is Colorado's pro day, that's appointment TV. People are going to be looking at that as well. So I think Shador Sanders still has a chance to be the top quarterback taken in this draft. But I'll continue to talk from the Giants' perspective, but I want to bring in Turron Davenport, who covers the Titans for ESPN, because I mean, the Giants can try and do whatever. They can love Cam Ward as much as they can, but if the Titans don't want to play ball or be like Wayne Brady and let's make a deal, then the Giants aren't going to be able to make that deal for him. So, Turron, what's going on, man? Appreciate you hopping on with us, man. Before you start talking about your thoughts on what you thought of Cam Ward, how's things going up in Nashville, man?
Hey, everything is good, man. I appreciate you having me on. So, yeah, I can't complain, man. Life is good. Woke up this morning, so that means it's a W, and we're just gonna keep it rolling.
Stacking W's is what it's all about. Both of our franchises trying to stack as many W's as we can after the last couple years. JDJ writes in, watch Cam's pro day. As the not so great Gettleman would say, I'm in full bloom love. Do you share that same sentiment, Teron?
I think if you were in love with Cam Ward, it happened before this pro day. And we tend to carry these things a little bit out of proportion. It's a confirmation thing. He looked good, though, no doubt about it. And he showed all the things that you saw for 5 years of film. All this is confirmation.
Yeah, I mean, the kid oozed with confidence. He looked comfortable out there, and I'm like you because obviously 67.2 completion percentage, 39 touchdowns to only 7 interceptions, over 4,300 yards throwing the football. There's nothing that him and t-shirts and some shorts. I don't think he needs to kind of sway anybody. I think that was for people to be able to look at him. Hey, let me see him make this throw. Is he tired? Let me see how he gets with his receivers. And I think he made one thing that impressed me or continues to impress me is how he gets he flicks it. And you saw that with Cam Newton when he came out, just the ability and arm strength. And, I don't know about some of the quarterbacks that the Titans have had in the past, but looking at the Giants with to go back to Eli and the quarterback carousel that they've had, I haven't seen a guy that could come in and whether it be a deep route or some sort of intermediate route to where you got to anticipate and make that throw. I haven't seen guys with that flick of the wrist just yet. So would you say he is a for sure lock for the Tennessee Titans to take at one?
Yeah, I'm not going to say for sure a lot because I'm not in the building, but the people I've talked to it's basically that's the direction that's who they're going to pick, and it's easy to see. Really, the main thing was they had to just confirm some of the personality stuff and just see how he was as a person and how that would vibe. But that's why the combine happened, and that's why they brought him here, before free agency started.
So what do you think? So what did you see in terms of body language and what they always say, the intangibles? Like, I hate it when they say that on TV, but the intangibles. What did you see that you're like, okay, I like this guy. This guy could be the QB1 of the future.
Yeah, there's always the confidence that he has. That's something that's major. And then there were a couple throws like they were throwing that high pass just to the back right corner of the end zone, and they missed a couple times on that. But when they missed on it, he just went right back to it and did it again. And there wasn't any clapping, any damn or anything like that going on. He just was working right through everything, and it just shows you what you've seen in the Cal game, what you saw in the Virginia Tech game. I say he's not going to be flustered no matter what's going on, and that's a part of because of just where he got it from. 0-star recruit, went through Incarnate Word in Washington State, and then with Miami, and you see what happened when he got the opportunity.
Do you think his storyline is a reason why he's over Shedeur Sanders? Because if you look at I love watching Shedeur tape, and I said it before you hopped on. I think I kind of have Shedeur slightly ahead of Cam because Shedeur didn't have the offensive line at Colorado those last 2 years, so he was able to still make plays and accurate throws down the field without an offensive line. But everything that he comes with, obviously a group of people, the entourage, the pizzazz, the entertainment. Do you feel as though that's a bigger that plays part into why Cam Ward is kind of listed as the favorite or the number one quarterback over Shedeur?
Honestly, if you were to go by a quarterback right now, I think Shedeur is a better quarterback right now. But it's just the potential that Cam Ward has, that higher ceiling that Cam Ward has that makes you want to jump on him. But if you watch Shedeur, you talk about the offensive line, and guess what else he didn't have? A rushing attack. So for all those people who say, oh, well, he was only throwing the ball 5 yards or less past the line of scrimmage a lot of time. Well, guess what? That was the rushing attack. He had to do that because they couldn't run the ball. I think you'd also look at Shedeur, the accuracy, the way that, he throws with anticipation, all that. I asked Mike Borgonzi about Shedeur's arm, and he said that he didn't see that being an issue, right? So a lot of the stuff with Shedeur is just kind of thrown in there, and then this whole thing about him not having a good personality, being a diva, and this, that, and the third. It's not true. I watched him at the Shrine. There's a food court attached to the hotel where the players were. I happened to be in the food court. I saw Shador and his brother Dion Jr. walk in, and Shador was on the phone, so I didn't go up and talk to him right at that moment. But people went up and asked for pictures and stuff like that. There wasn't a frown; it was a smile, a handshake, in some cases a hug. To all the fans that asked for pictures and whatever while he was on the phone. That's
Yeah.
not something a diva does. But I
Yeah.
mean, look, I know it's Shador Sanders,
Yeah.
and that Sanders last name is not the most attractive to a lot of people who aren't very confident within themselves. So there you have it.
And that's why I was saying before you hopped on, I said that's why I feel as though the door is still open for Shador to be that number one quarterback taken, because I don't think the Borgonzis or the Joe Shanes, they're not listening to Twitter. They're not listening to the people who are like, oh, I don't like this kid that I've never been around, that I just see, the caricature. I don't like his caricature, the theatrics or whatever. He should be playing football like this and not doing podcasts and that robot stuff. They're not listening to them. Like, if anyone knows, when it comes to this process, I was an undrafted free agent, and the Giants went and talked to my high school coach. So if they're gonna do that for an undrafted free agent, what do you think they're gonna do for the face of the franchise? And I think that they're just not allowing that type of stuff to get out, to be leaked. That, the Giants brass or the Titans. Well, Borgonzi kind of did a little bit, but a lot of teams that feel as though that they're in that area to where it's like, hey, he may slide to us. They're not going to go out there and say we love his character, because then that messes up your leverage. You're trying to be quiet and allowing the slide. I don't know. It's a chess game, but go ahead.
It is. And there may be select teams, whoever it may be, that put stuff out there in hopes of causing him to drop. I mean, it's a game. There's a lot of things being played. But, to me, the bottom line, Shador is a top-level quarterback. I take Shador and Cam, and I put them right in the mix with the quarterbacks over the last couple of years. This whole thing about those two not being first-rounders or even top 15 picks, to me is nuts. I think they both belong there.
Do you see an instance or a situation to where someone can get into Borgonzi's ear, allow him to trade back, he grabs some guys that he wants, and possibly sticking with the Jackson Dart or Jalen Milroe?
Yeah, I doubt. So if Cam Ward's not the quarterback, I don't think they're going to have anybody else in that situation. Like right now, it's going to take a really major move to get them to sway off of the number one pick. Think about it. You got Will Levis, Brandon Allen. That's your quarterback room right now. They're not going to. If I'm Brian Callahan, like, I'm not doing that. Because another bad year and he's gone. So I really think that it's going to take a whole heck of a lot in order to knock them off of taking Cam Ward. I 3-2, the Browns, Giants, maybe, because at least you go to the Browns, you still get one of the two. The Giants, that's the question mark. So I don't think it's likely. I think, Cam is the quarterback next year and years beyond, going into 2027 when they open up the new stadium.
Dang, I was feeling some. I broke up a bit. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, now I can. I lost you for a second. Can you hear me?
Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. My bad, y'all. I'm back on. I'm back on. I'm sitting here texting our producer. I didn't know if I was on or not. My phone, my laptop became unresponsive there. Darn technology. It's great until it messes up on you. Turron's going to join. He's going to rejoin back in a little bit, but keep these questions going. Keep this thing going. G-Man Hurt. He said, dude throws good. Yeah, man. You watch the tape. This kid can make every single throw that's on the field. Turron, welcome back, man. I'm one of them people with that Starbucks Wi-Fi or something, man. Like I'm gotta pay that Optimum bill. but I was, but people were writing in with this. What is going on with my computer?
It's going in and out. I missed that part.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone was talking about before I jumped back up in the when I jumped back on the room, everybody was talking about how good that he threw. And it's like you gotta watch his tape. It's like don't judge him just by the pro. You watch the kid.
Can you hear me?